Hello, visionaries. I'm Ashara Bianca, your vision midwife. When I tell y'all it has been a struggle today trying to get this video done, I tried to go live. I ran out of camera space, all of that foolishness. But anyway, we are not going to let that affect us today because we're going to get this word out here so you all can push and get your vision vitamin for this week. So first of all, I hope that you all have had a great week. I've had a great week. I've had some time to reflect on some things, and so that's what I'm going to actually share with you all today. Thank you for tuning in. I tried to go live and couldn't, so I did not want to not do the video though. So I'm gonna try to get to you all and stay within 5 minutes. That's the time frame, 5 minutes. So as you know, lately this week we've had the biggest social media news was the Kim Burrell rant that she did at her church about LGBTQ, and so people have come and asked me my opinions because I am LGBTQ. They wanted to know my opinions, and my opinion has always been that I really don't have one. And the reason I don't have one is because Kim Burrell means nothing to me. I don't know her. She don't know me. But furthermore, I know who I am. So nothing she can say dictates me, makes me think any less of who I am, and makes me feel any less in my love for God and God's love for me. So I don't really have an opinion. I think it's sad that she would use her platform to spread that instead of love. That's what I feel. But that's not what this video is about. So we're going to keep moving. Even though the title of the video is Come Out the Closet, that's not what we're going to be talking about today. We're not talking about coming out the closet because of your sexuality. We're actually talking about coming out the closet for something else. So that's a little plug. So anyway, what I really want to talk to you all about is I've been doing a hashtag. It's called hashtag free yourself to be yourself. And so there are some things that you have to do in order to really be yourself. One of the things that I've learned this week is in identifying and being secure in who I am and who God says that I am, I have had to identify some things that did not line up accordingly. For instance, we all have a bunch of different labels. I myself, I'm a wife, a fiance. I'm a mother, a daughter, a friend, a coworker, and those kind of things. And so each one of those has a criteria or qualifications as to way that it's supposed to look, correct? And so you find yourself trying to fit in all these different boxes and trying to be all these different things in these different boxes. And in the midst of that, you can lose your own authentic self, meaning who you are at the root of yourself, right? And so this week, I've been saying, my pastor said that God has already done everything that he's going to do pertaining to our situations and our visions, okay? Which means that there are some things that you still need to do. That the reason you have the vision has not manifested in your life is because you have to do some things. And so I really started to take that to heart and really think about what is it that I'm not doing, or what is it that's keeping me from moving forward and being in that vision. I mean, if you look on social media right now, it is buzzing, honey. Everybody's a life coach, everybody singing a song, everybody a rapper, everybody writing books. It seems like everybody is just doing a thing. And so you can find yourself on social media wondering why am I still stuck here? And why am I not progressing? Not that it's anything against anybody else progressing, but you're wondering, why can't I be in the flow too, or the stream and be moving forward just like they're moving forward? And I'm here to tell you that the reason you're not moving forward has nothing to do with anybody else. It has nothing to do with what people said about you, hence Kim Burrell. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with the labels that have been placed on you. It has everything to do with you, right? A lot of times when we start to get wrapped up in what's going on in the world, we lose focus on ourselves and we start to feed into the stereotypes of the things that people say about us. And so we start to internalize those negative things, and they start to show in our everyday lives. So in order for us to be able to get to a point to where we're accomplishing the things that God said for that we are to accomplish while we're here on this earth, and in order for us to be who he's called us to be, remember that first of all, that in the beginning when God created the earth, after every day, he looked at whatever he created and said, it is good. That still applies to you. So when God looked at you and created you, he said, you are good. One thing my grandmama told me is that when God made me, he make no junk. And I live by that philosophy, that when he made me the creme de la creme, the best there could be. There is no other. That he looked at me and said, I did that. I believe that about myself, right? But as I grew older, there were certain situations that I put myself in, and certain stereotypes that other people tried to put on me that I bought into. And so now that I'm at a place in my life and I'm trying to progress, there are certain times where I cannot move forward and I feel like I am hitting a brick wall and I do not understand why. And the reason why is because I had internalized some things and I didn't realize it. So sometimes you got to go in your closet. Literally, you have to go in your closet and pull out those skeletons. Some of us got skeletons on that side of the closet in those clothes that we know we can't wear because we done had them for 10 years, but in our mind we gonna get into it. You got skeletons that's on that side of the closet that don't even fit you anymore, but you still are holding on to that because that's what somebody identified you as. Does that make sense? So we got some stuff so deep off in our closet that we can't even be free from it because sometimes we don't even realize that it's there. We can't even call it by name. And so that's what I did this week. This week, I really sat down and said, Mashara, what is going on with you? Why can't you progress? Because it ain't God. You can't say it just ain't time. Because we good to say, well, in his time. The time is now. If he gave it to you, the time is now. And so if he's giving it to you and you cannot move forward with it, then there is a reason and you have to be able to identify the reason. So I got real with myself, hence the reason I keep saying, free yourself to be yourself. And I said, what is it that is holding you back? And I started to write down a list of all of my different issues that I had going on, all of the yip yap that was going on in my head. And what it boiled down to was I had a couple of different things. I had failure, judgment, and inadequateness. Those were my three things. After everything boiled down, those are the three things that have kept me at a place to where I am, that I can't move forward. Is the fact that I felt inadequate, that I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't want to fail. All right. So after I was able to identify those things, I said, okay, so now what? Now what? Well, you do what you know to do. You go back to the person that has created you and get exactly what they said about you. And that's exactly what I did. So I went to the Bible and I pulled out scriptures based on those things. Scriptures that talk about those specific things. So my first scripture that I had for inadequateness was 2 Peter 1:3. His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life. That means I am adequate enough. I have more than enough based on it because he's already given it to me. So that rules out the fact that I'm inadequate. The next one I did for failure, Jeremiah 29:11. For the plans I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and not failure. Which means that I cannot fail because the God I serve has already said that the plans he has for me won't allow me to do that. And the third one was judgment. So I pulled out Romans 8:1-2. Therefore, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, because through him and the law of the Spirit who gives life has set you up free from the law of sin and death. So again, I know who I am. I don't have to worry about judgment because it says there is no judgment in Christ Jesus, and those are who in Christ Jesus, and I am in him. So I use those three scriptures this week every day. I got up, I looked in the mirror, and I said, these are your skeletons in your closet, but this is what God says about you and your skeletons, right? And I want to challenge you to do the same thing, y'all. We got to get real. So in order for us to be really free, everybody want to say, I'm my authentic. Everybody love that word, authentic. Be your authentic self. Just be you. Who are you? Who are you? Identify those things that are keeping you back. Identify those things that are holding you back. And then you do the same thing I did. You write them down and you find some scriptures in the Bible as to what God says pertaining to those things in your life. Because once you can do that and you realize that these are just mere things to keep you distracted, then you will be able to move forward and you will be able to be free to be yourself so that you can really do and achieve what God has called you to do. So that is it for me this week. I am going to wrap it up. I went over a little. I'm sorry. I hope this word has really helped you. I am updating my website. I hope that it is up next week. I'm working on it by myself. So I hope that it's up next week because I want to be able to have a space where you can see the videos and we can kind of do a little more chatting and that kind of stuff. Again, I thank you all for watching this week's Vision Vitamin. Stay tuned for next Sunday and we will talk from there. Have a great day, visionaries.